So if you're like me and you like to work out from home and you're trying to pick out a bench to get, this is the one that I use. I don't have any sponsors, so this is just my personal choice. And also, I'm going to tell you some things that I've learned along the way through some trial and error. One big thing is a lot of benches will come where you can do the forward leg extension, but they don't have this part here where you can also do the reverse leg extension. And I like being able to do both. This works the top of my legs and the bottom. So I like that about this bench. Another thing is when you're getting weights, there's kind of two standard hole sizes. There's the 1.25 inch and then the 2.25 inch hole sizes. And this is kind of nice because it comes with a little adapter, so you can use either one. So that's nice about this bench as well. Another thing is I would spend a little bit extra. Don't go with one of the ones that are a little less expensive because they're going to be a little less stable, a little more rickety and squeaky. And when you're doing a bench or really any kind of lifting on the bench, you want it to be stable. You don't want it to be shaking around underneath you. So I've had this one a couple years now. It's stable. I really like it. It's adjustable. You can do flat, a 30-degree, 45, and pretty much a 90-degree. I can't show you while I'm holding the phone, but you can adjust the angle here. And another thing to point out that I didn't really notice until I got it is this arch right here for your back, which at first I kind of didn't like it because when I have my legs locked in here and I lay down, this doesn't really line up with where the arch of my back is. But with a little adjusting and getting used to it, it really hasn't been too bad. It wasn't worth sending it back or anything. And once you get used to it, and when you're benching, I don't have to have my legs locked in here anyway. So it's kind of nice actually now that I've gotten used to it. But at first I wasn't sure because usually benches are pretty much straight, but it's not too bad. So these are my recommendations. This is the one that I use and I've been happy with it. I've had it a couple years and it's held up pretty well. And yeah, so if you're going to get a bench, I would definitely keep those things in mind and spend a little extra on it. Make sure you get a good one. Also, if you like to work out from home, these are the dumbbells that I use. They are adjustable weight, which is pretty nice. And they're pretty expensive. And one drawback is when you are going to put them away, sometimes they are a little bit difficult to line up and even jam up a little bit. But once you get the hang of it, it's not too bad. And I've had these a couple years now as well, and they've been working out really good. But yeah, they are kind of expensive, but worth it instead of having a long rack of weights. But if you are on a budget, I find that I use like the 20-pound and 40-pound most often. I'm sorry, 40-pound and 80-pound also. But these go up quite a bit. I think they'll max out at like, let's see. And it's also kind of weird the way they did the math here. I thought this would be like 50 pounds on one side and then 50 pounds another, but if you put both sides to 50, then it is actually 50 total. So don't let that throw you off. And don't put one side heavier than the other unless you're going to get creative with some kind of new workout or something, but I've never wanted to do that. And these things, they're pretty smooth and they lock into place. Another thing too, I like to give them a little jiggle. Otherwise, they they may not lock correctly. But with a little practice, they are definitely worth it. They save you a lot of space instead of having a ton of 2.5s, 5s, 10s, 20s, all the way down the rack. If you go to the gym, you'll see how many there actually are. But also, you'll notice if you go to the gym, the weights at the far right, those 55s, not too many people are using those, and so there. And you'll definitely notice the weights that are used most often versus the weights that are collecting dust and hardly used by anybody at all except for the really strong people. So these have been working pretty well for me, and just my personal recommendation, if you can afford it, if you're on a budget, I would get 2.5 pounds, 2 5 pounds, 2 10 pounds, 2 20 pounds, and 2 40 pounds, maybe 2 50 pounds. But with those, you can do a lot of the workouts that I'll be showing you soon in my videos.